Alright, what is going on, guys? My name is Leon Master. Welcome back to another Overwatch League video, and today, boys, was one of the weirdest days we've seen of Overwatch League. Some random games that turned out to be very, very close, that we didn't expect, obviously, like the last game, London Spitfire versus the Justice, and also Toronto versus Philadelphia Fusion, and the obvious match, which was going to be a stomp, NYXL versus the Houston Outlaws. And let's go and talk about that first game for a little bit. Nothing much to really talk about. It's the obvious stuff. Houston's bad, NYXL's the better team, and Houston looked a lot more, lost today compared to the previous games beforehand. I do gotta say, Jexay was still the bright spot of the team. Mecco was a little bit worse this game. He wasn't really with Muma a lot, and I kept noticing throughout the entire game, Mecco was really never with Muma. Mecco was on the flanks like all the time. Like, he didn't do anything else except for flanking, which, yes, is good at some points. We saw that a lot in the London game. When Muma's getting hammered like that 24/7 on the game, you gotta find like a little mix in between and help Muma here and there with the DM, and then go on the flanks with like Jexay or something. But majority of the time, Muma was getting caught not seeing a diva beside him, so they instantly went on Muma all the time, and Mecco was like never with them the entire time. That's just something I am going to say that game. Obviously, Mecco does that a decent amount of times, though, but I saw a lot more in this game compared to usual. Obviously, NYXL still just rolled. It's NYXL. NYXL can do anything. NYXL can look bad. They can be blindfolded and still winning against the Houston Outlaws at this point. At this point, nothing much to really talk about the Houston Outlaws. They're still a bad team. I don't see any growth happening with this team in a while unless everyone's fully healed up, which obviously almost everyone's sick at this point, and maybe more things will change up later in the season. But as it stands, Houston's going to stay the same for a while. Then on to the next match, a very, very close match, actually. Toronto Defiant versus the Philadelphia Fusion. This match, at start, looked like Philly was going to roll. The first map went by Oasis. Toronto Defiant did not look good at all. Then we went on to the second map, Temple of Anubis, and, Toronto still looked kind of, shaky, but as the end of the map happened, Toronto looked so much better. Surefour was getting a lot of value out of Sombra a little bit, and also Agility's was kind of warming up a little bit. It felt like Agility's blades were kind of weird. Beast was looking good this entire series, by the way. I was very proud to see Beast perform like that. All around, I definitely think they were performing a little bit better. I do got to say the weakest link out of Toronto Defiant this entire game, even when they were doing good, was Kelix. Kelix was playing some weird Lucio style, kind of like not on the walls, not really speeding in that much. He was kind of by himself a lot, and he was just doing weird things like Lucios don't really do that we've seen in the league so far. So it was very confusing seeing Kelix play like he did today, but hopefully they work on that a little bit more. Hopefully they do, because just Kelix was like playing very weird today. But Toronto Defiant, at the end of Map 2, they started getting on everything. Map 3, they looked completely different, almost looking like they were a whole new team at this point compared to Map 1, and they were going on each other with the ults they had, and they were just doing perfect. Diving the right targets as well. Same thing goes with King's Row. Even Beast was doing well in Dorado. Beast was doing a lot, especially on Dorado. He was killing everyone, had the nanos at the right time. This man was tanking every bit of damage possible as well. So, just all around, very happy to see what Beast did. Also, Nevix did good, not going to ignore him. Obviously, everyone did good on this team, except for Calix, really, but hey, it's all good. They still did good. And King's Row, same thing. This map was really close. The closest map we've seen so far, this entire league so far, and I just think this is the closest match we've actually seen so far in the league in general. Maybe someone could argue with that, maybe for sure earlier weeks, but so far, Toronto Defiant vs Philadelphia Fusions has been one of the best games we've seen so far. Very exciting. And then we went on to Nepal, and it was still somewhat close a little bit, but Philadelphia Fusion definitely came back and said, we're going to win this game, and they definitely did. They looked really good, and all around, Carpe was still doing his things, and Surefour was still doing his things. It was almost like a Surefour and Carpe battle this entire time, with Surefour was hitting flanks, getting value out of it. Carpe was hitting flanks, getting value out of it. So these guys were doing such a good job doing their things that they should be, going on flanks here every now and then that could change the fights, and they did that a lot. You especially see that on King's Row. Surefour went on flanks, changed the fight. Carpe went on flanks multiple times in the same areas and still got value whenever the team should have known Carpe's going on the same flank. But all around, these two teams were going really good against each other. If you haven't watched that game, I highly recommend and go back watching that game. You'll just see how good that match was. Then on to the next match, the match we expected to be very obvious. The one that was going to be a 3-0 or a 3-1 from the Washington Justice. We thought they were going to win, especially with the crowd on their side, and it was the absolute opposite. So the first two maps went by, and Washington looked pretty good a little bit. Also, I do want to say Corey was sick playing this. Also, London Spitfire brought out some new players we haven't seen yet, like Clestyn and Shui. And obviously, at the start, when they're seeing this roster, people are already like, where's Bernard? Where's my best off-tank on this team? But honestly, guys, I think Clestyn is probably gonna start after what we've seen today. Now, Clestyn could have been better, absolutely, but Clestyn was doing a diva's job this entire time, going on the McCree, almost the entire match. Whenever you watched Corey, Clestyn was right beside him or about to kill him. That was the entire match, and Clestyn did a good job of that. And poor from the Justice side of things. They never really peeled for Corey that much, or for Aim God in general. Obviously, Aim God hit a lot of good sleeps when he did have the chance to. I didn't really see Arc, peel as much compared to usual Lucios. Clestyn did a good job of doing what his job was, and I'd love to see, him be integrated into the roster a little bit more. Is Bernard better? Maybe at this point, who knows? Honestly, Clestyn and Bernard, who knows who could take that spot now after what happened? Clestyn impressed a lot of people today, and I just want to know who's going to be their starting off tank from now on. Is it just because Clestyn got lucky because going on Corey 24/7, Justice didn't know how to, go through that or adapt to it, or is Clestyn just actually the better off tank? Also, now on the Shui, honestly wasn't a fan of him. The entire time, Shui did not impress me. His walls were poor. Honestly, he never got value out of his freeze. He never got value out of his ult that much. I was just really not impressed with Shui this game. I do think they should bring Babel back in and keep Clestyn in, see how that does with the team, and just see how it rolls on. Now, I do think out of this entire match as well, JMac was very bad. I definitely think JMac has been bad so far the entire games. I think a lot of people had high hopes for JMac who knew JMac from his previous, games he's played in China contenders, but it's just not coming through. So hopefully, as later season goes on, maybe he gets better. If he doesn't, London Spitfire is going to need to find a new main tank for sure. So obviously you go to map 1 and 2, somewhat close for London Spitfire and the Washington Justice, and we obviously expect Justice to still win, especially with the crowd beside him. We go into Dorado, and London Spitfire breaks records on this map. They literally break records throughout the entire match, it feels like. They hold the closest on Dorado out of all Overwatch League, or maybe in all of competitive Overwatch, I don't know. But definitely Overwatch League. They held basically at the spawn door. The spawn door. If you haven't watched the game, I'm not kidding when I mean they've literally held him at the spawn door. And I don't know how they did it. I don't know how Justice didn't even get that far. But just as soon as this happened, Justice already went downhill. It seemed like mentally. And we go into Blizzard World. London rolls. Somehow they roll on this map. Justice almost got the cart here and there, but they just don't. And then we go into Nepal. Definitely the closest map out of all the maps. It was almost moments Justice was going to win. It was almost moments London was going to win. Obviously, London did win it, but I'm talking about fight-wise. And it comes to the last fight. Roar hits the nastiest shatter. Gets 5 shatter. Corey cleans up, gets the 5 kills. It's looking like Justice wins the fight. Then here comes Glister. Somehow gets a kill. Somehow does that. I forgot if it was on Corey or Stratus, but he gets the kill, and then they instantly go on to it, and then they win the entire map. Off of Glister popping off, and this Sanguinar also did really good this entire series as well. And Sanguinar is just impressing a lot of people. A lot of these no names London signed is coming through for the team at this point. Now, obviously, maybe I'm over-exaggerating or just maybe over-hyping London too much. Obviously, it was still a sloppy game a little bit from both teams, and all London did was kind of reverse a Justice who weren't really looking the best, we could say. So who knows what's going to happen with London later on. This is definitely going to help them with their confidence later in games. I'm really excited to see how this does. But definitely, out of everything I've seen today, coach JMac a little bit more and definitely switch Shui for Babel. And I definitely think you have a good roster moving forward. And before we end it off, I do want to give you guys some news at the end of the video. The South Korea games are getting canceled because the coronavirus is obviously spreading in Korea now. And here's the tweet. In order to protect the health and safety of our players, fans, and staff, we are canceling plans to host OWL 2020 matches in South Korea week 5, 6, and 7, including the Seoul Dynasty home event. We'll share more info about when and where matches will take place at a later time. This just honestly really sucks to see because I was very, very excited to watch the Seoul Dynasty home crowd, see how excited they were to see their Dynasty team win a fight, win a map. I was just so excited to see that because I definitely think out of all crowds, the Seoul Dynasty crowd would have been the loudest, I feel like. But we won't see that happen. Probably, who knows when. Maybe we won't see it at all. Hopefully things get, fixed later in the season, but who knows. Obviously, the coronavirus is something you want to take seriously, so you might as well just cancel the games and just figure out what's going to happen, because you just don't want to take a risk with the coronavirus right now. Anyways, guys, that's going to be for me. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to join my Discord down below. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitter and my Twitch, and don't forget to hit that bell, and don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys on the next one.